reasonable needleness pliers.
following is a special presentation.
From the Captain eSports Network.
We have officially passed the halfway point in this Xfinity side of the Masters of the Draft, the National Association for Stock Car Virtual Racing. Get ready to go racing for the third time on the Xfinity side, and it's back to Daytona where we were 2 weeks ago. The difference is old Inspector Gadget came around and said, "Go, go, Gadget bumps," in old school, as we hit the 07 edition, or 08 edition of the Daytona International Speedway virtually on iRacing. It's the original Daytona, which, yes, has all the bumps and, well, still the carnage, as you just seen on screen. That is the Daytona International Speedway. 2.5 miles, 31 degrees of banking, and obviously the track that was there before the pothole of 2010 in the Daytona 500 that might have changed a lot of plans for people's Valentine's days. Ask me how I know. Anyways, the captain with you on this Tuesday night. We get ready to go here for 80 laps of racing and 200 miles, as per usual in this Bet to Track Masters of the Draft Series. And of course, the Xfinity side of things here this season is presented by Key City Hobby. So big shout out to those guys for sponsoring this Xfinity end of things. But first things first, before we get into the pre-race and all that yada yada yada, we're going to go into qualifying for the race here this evening. And of course, qualifying is presented by Vivid EV. Big shout out to Vivid EV as they help out with golf carts and other types of electronic vehicles that you can enjoy. Check out Vivid EV. As the red flag waves officially on practice and qualifying will begin. 20 cars here right now in what has been some pretty wild racing here in this Xfinity side of things. Of course, tonight going to be a little bit of a custom setup, and of course these cars are going to bounce around. You're not going to really be able to do the whole 2 and 3 wide through the corners. 2 wide, yes. 3 wide, not so much. And just know those cars are going to be moving around, because that's what they do around this Daytona International Speedway, on the bumps especially. And it's always been a track when I've run it. I didn't get to run it much during my time, but when I did, it was very, very tricky. All right, cars heading out on track, and the first car we are on with is, looks like Brian Hayes here. And he is not the first one on track. Believe it or not, Joe Wells has jumped out there in that Vivid EV number 3 car. He's going to be the first one here to the start-finish line. Not a lot of difference in this. Obviously, the track look, so it's not going to, change up too much. The difference is the character in this track. Obviously, the bumps and the turns, and you see the walls kind of jetted in and out from all the settling of the track and so on and so forth. You're going to see some different lineage and different things, and we'll explain what all that is throughout the race, because basically what that is you got to go back to, again, 2010 was the last time this surface was basically raced on, but the actual scanning itself, I believe, is from 2008, if I remember correctly here. So here's Joe Wells up on the top side. You see that car porpoising around, bouncing around at about 175 miles an hour down the back straightaway here, the super stretch. Of course, those grandstands on the left, no longer there, nor is this little party zone that they just passed by. Down to turn 3, Joe still up there in that top groove. Of course, he won last week's race at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Looking to make it 2 in a row here this evening, and his biggest competition, you might argue. The gentleman who has been racing him, Travis Gilbert, not here tonight. He's actually got a sub in here tonight in the 24 of Josh McKinney. As Joe crosses the line, 51.088 going to be the lap to beat. There's McKinney right there crossing P2. As Drift crosses the line and others here. There's the 34 of Tommy Rogers, the Daytona winner from 2 weeks ago. As he works his way down the back straightaway. How about Tim Shiflett in the 54 car? He goes P1, 54.67. Beats out Shane Ward 68 right now. After lap 1, would be a good way to see if lap 2 is actually going to be quicker or not. This can be very tricky because, you know, the way the setup is, the way the car runs, and the bumps, and so on and so forth. As you see Drift right now on a purple lap as the 34 Rogers crosses the line. Wells goes to a 50.56, so he goes quicker. Drift, a 50.55, goes to the pole. 2 cars left here as Wells goes to pit road. And let's see who's still out there. Still got a few cars out here to finish a lap. As Dylan Picklesimmer in the Jack Link's protein snacks car. No word if the creature who I've forgotten about all of a sudden. Oh, Thompson, Greg Thompson, 50.48 goes to the pole. Sasquatch, that's who I'm thinking of, is making an appearance on pit road or not this weekend. The Jack Link's Menards car, that car's all over the place there. He hit that apron a little bit and got him loose. Al Likens up to second with a 52 as here comes Picklesimmer to the line. And he'll go 6th with a 50.58, so a lot of very close times here. As Sam Taylor, P3, 50.48. I'm sorry, 50.54 with an 8. And to my counts here, we got one car that has not finished that second lap, and here he comes. It is the boss man's husband, Scott Wise. I think that's the honest way of putting it, right? Scott coming off a fresh run in the 24-hour Daytona race on iRacing. And he definitely did not get the bottom there. I would not expect this to be a pole run. Let's see. I've been wrong before. As he crosses the line and jumps up to 9th, 50.58. So Greg Thompson wins the pole. Big shout out to Vivid EV as they have the sponsor, of course, of qualifying, which will wrap up here in 15 seconds. But everybody's got their laps in. And it will be Greg Thompson who wins the pole here for the race. So they're going to go down and do their meeting. And while they do the meeting, we're going to jump over here and we're going to work on our pre-race show, of course, which is a lot to cover, basically, as we show you the point standings entering this week's race at the 07 Daytona track, 08 Daytona track, whatever year it is. Jason Branch leading the points. Branch, of course, some people could say could have been winner at Daytona 2 weeks ago, but he's been consistent. 2 top 10 finishes, including a 5th last week after some controversy. Got caught up in a wreck on the last lap and actually got penalized by iRacing for an unsafe exit, I believe it was, on pit road. But Branch was credited a 5th place finish in the end from the admin crew. And that's where he has a 22-point lead over Stephen Melnick, who's had a great start here. Shane Ward 3rd, Scott Wise, Tommy Rogers, Thompson, Joe Wells, the winner from Atlanta last week, Al Likens, Josh McKinney, Travis Gilbert there. Your top 10, you notice this Xfinity lineup a little more mixed up than we've seen here. These first couple of rounds of 4, as it's been mostly Joe Wells and Travis Gilbert basically up there at the top. But Wells, obviously, with that win, jumped to 7th. But otherwise, it's been these other guys. I mean, look at Branch's bonus points. He's got a stage win there. You look at Greg Thompson. He's got a stage win. Look at his 37 bonus points. Those bonus points are going to come into play, I think, in the end when it comes to the championship, especially when the race is over tonight. So I think this is going to be a very interesting battle to watch here amongst these guys that are looking to battle for this championship here in the Xfinity side, presented by our good buddies at Key City Motor. Sorry, Key City Hobby. Let me get the words right here. For some reason, motor is in my head. Let's look at the owner points, or I'm sorry, the overall point standings. And this is where you still see the Kind of big difference here. Joe Wells leads by 24 with Travis Gilbert. Then it's everybody else. Well, Shane Ward's on his own island at 276 back. And then Scott Wise way back with Jason Branch and those guys. But still plenty of time to go. We have, 10 races to go after last week's race. So still got plenty of time to make up some room here. And you never know, with some bad luck, anything can happen here. Get some stage wins and some stage points. And that could be the difference. You look right here at the bonus points up at the top with Joe Wells and Travis Gilbert. That's pretty much your separation almost. When you look at 285, 115 points right there separating second and third. You take the 115 from 276, all of a sudden you're 161 points back. So, I mean, it's not so much when you add those bonus points in there. So, good opportunity here tonight to gain on Travis, obviously, with him missing the race here this evening. Now, I mentioned the different stages of 4. For those watching for the first time here tonight, this is how the Masters of the Draft is set up. It started all the way back in August at Daytona in the Truck Series. We ran 4 races, as I've been kind of comparing it to Mario Kart, if you will. You run 4 races in one cup, then you go to another one, and it was the next-gen car, of course, in October. November and December, you saw the 87 cars, exclude the yellow line there where the All-Star race, that is actually coming up. That was postponed. The Xfinity car as of right now, of course, will finish next week at Talladega, and then we'll bring the old Gen 4 in, which is the obviously the old car from back in the 90s. That car will race for the month of February, basically into March, and in March and April, we'll finish it all out with the old Gen 6 car, which is the car that followed up the Car of Tomorrow race car. And should be a lot of fun. It's on each and every Tuesday night. And of course, we'll have an off week going into the first week of February, which is the weekend of the Clash, of course, for the Cup Series. And then we'll take a week off again in March. Now, I believe, correct, of course, Scott and him, when they get a chance, they'll correct me on this, but I believe the 5th or I know it was talked about, but I have to go back and scope this one out. You know what? So it'd either be the 5th or the 11th right here would be where that all-star race is going to come in. So I know that'll be talked about and figured out here in the near future. So got about 5 minutes to go here. I noticed some cars starting to roll out there on track. So let's see if we can get an opportunity here. We'll talk to our poll sitter. Yep, everybody's in their channels now. So, and I do not see Lauren here tonight. So hopefully she's doing well. And if she's been busy working a lot, but let's talk to our pole sitter here tonight. First off, presented by Vivid EV. Greg, you got a copy there, sir?
Oh, I got you loud and clear.
All right, man. Well, great job. Congratulations on the pole here. Of course, this is a track that most people with either no hair or gray hair remember racing at. And, obviously, Greg, it's one that has a lot of bumps, a lot of character to it. One that it dares you to go 3 wide through the corners, but not necessarily want to do that here because those bumps can make that car go out of shape all different ways. So, is it very important for you to keep that '08 car up front tonight? And if not, what kind of strategy do you see happening mid-pack there and trying to keep yourself out of trouble?
I don't think it's going to be that important to stay out front. I mean, because I hate to say it, but I think a lot of the problems are going to be out front. Because you're going to get people wanting to push very hard. And normally on the new Daytona or the new Talladega, you can lock bumpers and push all the way around the track. This track, you don't want to do that because you're getting so many bumps in the corners that, you'll probably wreck somebody, especially in these Xfinity cars where you have to be dead on center to push. If you're off center by a little bit and hitting those bumps, you're going to basically send somebody.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm looking, I know cameras right now looking down towards turn 1, but as I look down towards turn 4, I believe the pit entrance, is it not closer to the track than it is on the new Daytona? So with that being said, pit stops, obviously tonight, if we happen to pit under green tonight, could be interesting.
Well, there's a yellow cone on both sides. I don't know if you notice that. And if you hit that yellow cone, I believe on this track, you do get a penalty.
Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think you are right there. So it should be interesting, though. But great job tonight. Obviously, going to be a good feeling to start on the pole this evening.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad. This is my luck's turning around. This block is because I finished 3rd. It was my best finish so far this season. So I'm looking to get 2 spots better tonight.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Well, great job tonight, and let's put the chrome in victory lane.
All right. Take care,
All
Chris.
right, buddy. Greg Thompson, the pole sitter here tonight, as he looks to get it underway here momentarily. Got about 3 minutes left here before we go trackside for the engines to crank up and stuff. And let's actually talk to the points leader, and that's Jason Branch, of course. Jason, obviously a top 5 last week, a little bit of a spin and stuff, but obviously the admins made the call there to get you the 5th position, which was well deserved in the end, and what has been a crazy 2 races for you. But here we go, race number 3 and back at Daytona again. How do we keep that points lead tonight?
Try to stay out of everything. I don't know really how it's going to go tonight with it being bumpy. I guess we'll kind of feel it out the first couple laps, and if it starts to get a little dicey, we might drop to the back for a little while. We're not sure here, but I think we're just going to play it by ear and be there at the end. That's kind of what's got me the last 2 races. I'd like to get another win, but we'll see. We'll see how these people drive on the bumpy track.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens here. Well, congratulations so far on a great start here in the Xfinity run, and all the best tonight.
Thanks, Chris.
Yes, sir. Jason Branch, the points leader, going into tonight as we come up to about 2 minutes left before we go trackside for the engines getting cranked up and stuff. So let's go to the anthem here trackside.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, anthem in the books as we get ready to go racing here again. 80 laps tonight on this 2.5 mile track, so 200 miles. And obviously, you see the way the track used to be. Of course, the backstretch grandstands that used to be here, and at one point they had the Budweiser porch, I think it was over there off of the grandstands there to the left. Before it all was worked out, they redid the front stretch grandstands and made the old I forget what they have called the grandstands now here at Daytona, but either way, obviously a lot of work has been done, and it shows you how much difference you get in just a couple of years here at this track, and how much upgrade they've done to make the track look as prestige as it does now. As this track, of course, was built back in 1959 as they raced on the old fair, or the old beach and road course track. As we look at the starting lineup now, as we go trackside for the lineup, is Thompson on the pole, as mentioned, the Virginia driver with a 50.486 second lap. He'll start alongside Al Lycan. Sam Taylor, Drift, they're going to start there in the 3rd and 4th positions. Drift probably looking outside his window right now with I'm not used to this stuff sitting out there, as he's got a little bit of snow on the ground, Georgian. Don't worry, it's only like -2 up here around that Drift. Anyways, Joe Wells and Brian Hayes there in row number 3. Dylan Picklesimmer and Evan Perry. Good to see him back on track here tonight. He'll start in row 4. Scott Wise, Tommy Rogers in row number 5. Tim Shiflett, James Hudson there in the 2 car. Going to start in row number 6. As I noticed a couple of cars Darrell Johnson, Tim Shiflett not going to grid here. Let's see. Josh McKinney, who's subbing in for Travis Gilbert, will start 13th alongside Shane Ward, Jason Branch, and Ryan Wilson. Derek Jacobs, Stephen Melnick. Of course, P2 there in points, AJ Condon. The 19th starter where Darrell Johnson is. Mentioned Johnson along with Tim Shiflett going to start, I believe, this race on pit road. Likely a strategy call with the way this track is all set up. As mentioned, it's the 08 Daytona track. 80 degrees ambient, 54% humidity, which is low for Florida. Cloudy skies and 89 degrees down on track right now. Stages tonight, 16 and 40. And again, a reminder, no stage breaks unless a caution comes out as an aircraft lands back there in the airport. I've actually landed on that airport in the flight sim game. So Thompson taking the high side here, and that's because a little strategy there. He's got Drift there behind him. Drift kind of is a teammate, I should say, to that 08 car, so they're going to work together and try to get the jump out here to the front. And of course, we come to the green. Our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. They are online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. As we enter tonight 2 races before we crown a champion in the Xfinity block of the Masters of the Draft. But tonight it's going to be a little bumpy and maybe some bruised egos when it's all said and done as they enter to the tri-oval and the green flag waves. It is the 3rd race from the 08 Daytona. Here we go. Thompson with the start. Got the Burger King car on the inside and the Drift King car pushing on the back of the 08 is already, you see the inside line actually getting an advantage here with Sam Taylor. You can see where the bump's already kind of playing a role here as Taylor kicked right up into Thompson there, and that could have been bad. As you see Darrell Johnson leaving pit road, still waiting. I think Shiflett is now joining here. A couple cars leaving pit road back there. Lycan's going to try to slide up and pushes up 3 wide as they come to the line. Taylor to the bottom and will lead lap number 1 by inches. Likens went up there to try to put himself in position to steal that run from the 08, and unfortunately put himself in the middle there, and he's still in the middle back there. That's the 2 car of Hudson, who started 12th already up to 6th. As Dylan Picklesimmer, he's going to take the lead here on lap 2. Likens worked his way back up there, taking advantage of the outside lane to work himself up to the second car outside lane. They worked their way down the super stretch here. 18 of the 20 cars in this draft. Of course, you mentioned the other 2 that did not start in this race. Look at Joe Wells already up in the inside lane there, pushing to 9. Wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit more patience here. Thompson mentioned the pushing in the corners. I mean, this car is bouncing around. It's not a good idea to be shoving somebody down the corner at a track like this old Daytona track. Kenny and Vet to track number 24 is mentioned racing for the 22 of Travis Gilbert. Wells down to the apron there. Not sure if he got a bad bump or to avoid something. Didn't catch that out of the corner of my eye, but it causes the field to scatter just a little bit, but everybody okay. Josh McKinney up 8 positions already, up to the 5th position from 13th. Derek Jacobs from 17th to 9th. Those are your big movers here so far. Of course, we'll give that award later on, presented by Superior Templating. This is stage 1, a very short stage. Appreciate the viewers who are coming to hang out here tonight on this Tuesday evening. Give a thank you to everyone who's stopped by so far here this evening. You know, we are very early, but I know I saw some stop in or whatever to say hi. Jason Branch, our points leader, we talked to him a little bit ago. He said you wouldn't be surprised to see him hanging out in the back. There he is. Tried with this Navy number 28 car. Now, I'm going to be honest here. I understand the riding in the back. But if I'm riding in the back here, this is not where I'm driving. I'm going back a little further. Everybody has their own preference there. You see 39 of Shane Ward go by. Anytime I rode in the back on a super speedway, I want to be the last car in line because that means nobody can run me over. And that's also the fact that I trust that I can stop the car. Thomas Lance, appreciate you, sir. Yeah, everything's so far so good, but I haven't messed with anything either. I left it all alone after last week. I was like, all right, this is my settings. I'm sticking to it. So, I have a firm belief that a lot of this has to do with the weather. Unfortunately, when it's, like I said earlier, so let me check the Excalibrometer here. It is -3 right now. So, it's cold. So I'm sure that's probably messing with this internet. Which starts to make me wonder. I wonder where the coldest place in the United States is right now. I have an idea. I have a person that can answer. Hey Alexa, what's the coldest temperature in the United States right now? I'm gonna ask. Anyway, all right, that went well. Alexa, where is the coldest temperature right now in the United States? Music. Washington. Anyway, we digress. Anyways, Pickle Simmer up there. Up the track goes Likens. As Taylor's going to clear the lead with Joe Wells. Josh McKinney there in the inside lane. That doesn't answer my question either. My wife's trying to get the thing to answer too.
They said Alaska.
They said a region. They didn't say the actual temp.
Oh, good.
Whoa! Can't use that language out here. Anyways, so the 12 out here in front. Thompson there with Drift. Now they're starting to work their way up to the front there. In the outside lane also is Brian Hayes. As we come to 6 laps to go. So far, what's been pretty tame for the most part here. That's Melnick back there hanging in back in that Kakamura car. Shiflett and Johnson. If I remember correctly, they did this at the first Daytona race, or did they do it last week at Atlanta? I know they teamed up like this. It was last week at Atlanta, so I think about it. There were two cars that started on pit road and just kind of rode together. Oh, there they go, wrecking Thompson. There goes drift over almost. 24 is involved. The 31, the 5 of Condon as Thompson, as I mentioned, gets involved. And that's going to bring the first caution out. Branch is going to get through there. Josh McKinney I saw involved. And that took out a pretty good part of the field here, but they'll have the reset to go use. As caution going to come out with 5 to go in stage 1. Now let's see if we can find what happened here. If we roll that beautiful beam footage here, what happened right up in front here. Oh. Contact, and that's a lot of cars. Jason Branch involved. I mean, that pretty much took everybody from 5th on back. Let's go on board with Melnick here. Now this goes back to when I was talking about Jason Branch riding a little bit. And this is the reason I want to be the last car in line. Melnick works his way right on through. Great job by Melnick. I'm more with Branch here. He gets nerfed by somebody right down into the 2 car. Let's get one more look at this and see where it officially actually started out. Was it the 4 getting into the 08 or the 2 here? The 4 gets into the 24, gets into the 08. You see on the left there, 3 laps to go here in stage 1. This is going to be itching. Lights are still on the pace car, so we'll get at least a 1-lap shootout, it looks like, as a majority of the field on pit road getting either a reset done here or damage fixed. I think a lot of them are probably going to try to get damage fixed right now and save the reset if they can. All right, see if I can find us an answer real quickly while we're under caution. That ain't helping me any. I'll tell you this, there's a place, this is an article I'm seeing in front of me here, wherever Fraser, is that Colorado, I'm guessing? Yeah, it looks like Fraser, Colorado, potentially was 44 below zero. I don't know. I don't even want to think what that feels like. My toes are going numb again. All right, so those who came to pit road, they can go top off or get damage fixed. Thompson's still on pit road, and others here, they might go a lap down. They'll hurry up here. So it will be a 1-lap shootout. Just caution, a big break for the 54 of Shiflett and the 93 of Johnson. Those guys able to stay on the lead lap and come up here and join the field now. This is not the traditional NASCAR style here. You're not going to see them go one lap and then a caution come right back out unless they wreck. Green flag will come out, and they'll come back around, and whoever crosses the line in the top 10, that'll be the top 10 at the end of stage 1, and they will continue under the green. And they'll go to lap number 40 in stage number 2. And it's the same traditional 10-1 in stage points. And last time, of course, the restart, it was that inside lane that got a great start. So let's see if that happens again, as Taylor this time is going to get pushed by Joe Wells in the inside lane with Pickle Simmer now Likens. Actually, it's kind of backwards. It looks like Likens is on the inside lane here, which is actually the reciprocal of what happened at the start of the race. As here we go, back to green, lap 16. See how aggressive they get coming back to the line. This is one of those, if you know you're not going to get to the top 10, I'm kind of going to lay back a little bit here and let this lap get completed. We got Tommy Rogers there in the inside lane. The opening Daytona winner here 2 weeks ago. As they come roaring off of turn 4, cars getting sideways. They come racing to the line. Who is going to get stage number 1? It is the 12 of Pickle Simmer. Joe Wells, Sam Taylor, Shane Ward, Al Likens, your top 5. And congratulations to the 12. Dylan Pickle Simmer, your stage winner, presented by Wise Guy iRacing Graphics. Oh, Pickle Simmer. As Pickle blinked away. He's gone. Oh my gosh. What kind of luck is that? You win the stage and then all of a sudden you're gone. Oh, he pops back up in the middle. After the league just announced actually a new rule this season, or for the rest of the season, basically pretty much eliminating the whole blinking rule, and I think Pickle's going to went bye-bye again. How about Ryan Wilson there, 23 car up to P5. Joe Wells getting himself a lap lead here. Shane Ward, who started tail end Charlie almost on the field, up to the second spot. Yeah, unfortunately, Pickle Simmer, I think, has lost his connection there. So congratulations on the stage win, Dylan. You now get to leave. Basically, unfortunately, there. Ward, who gets the push from the 5 of Condon, who was just involved in that wreck. See Scott Wise up there on the top side. As we hit the 1/4 distance, for those just joining us tonight, welcome in to the Masters of the Draft Series and the National Association for Stock Car Virtual Racing, presented by Key City Hobby, as they sponsored the Xfinity side of the 4 races here this season. Of course, the series itself, presented by Vet to Track, of course, helps out veterans in getting back on the racetrack and specialized motorcycles and all. Appreciate what Vet to Track does, helping out the veterans in the area. And as we always do, we give a salute to those who are continuing to fight for our country, and those who have fought for our country, and even those who will be fighting for our country in the near future. We appreciate all that you do. So Sam Taylor has had a great run here so far tonight. He's been up there in the top three pretty much all race long. Got that outside line. He's had Al Likens pretty much right there with him the whole time. He's pushing Al or Al pushing Sam. Rogers getting a little free there off the corner. As mentioned, these cars just get very darty, if you will. As Dylan Picklesimmer has arrived back on pit road. He's going to get back on track. So he unfortunately had a connection issue there. Tough break for the 12th car here. You see these cars kind of moving around there. You see the Key City number 5, Key City Hobby number 5, that is. Scott Wides there pushing behind him. The 30 car, Derek Jacobs, in the plain white car. Kenny back there in that 24 car. He's all these guys being very patient, doing a good job here. After tonight's race, it might be safe to say that Dylan Picklesimmer will never try to win a stage again. Obviously, we still got 57 laps to go here in this race, but I heard some naysayers before the race say, hey, we're going to have a crap show here tonight, as Ryan Wilson all of a sudden bails out. He's going to go to the back. We've definitely seen a fairly clean race here tonight. Just that one caution that happened at lap 15, or I'm sorry, lap 13 officially. As Wilson's off the pace all of a sudden here. Going on with Ryan, but the 23, he's having all types of issues. Wonder if he was trying to fall to the back and just having trouble getting back on track, or maybe he had some kind of screen issue where something popped up on him. Shane Ward goes to lead that time by. And chances are, after that stage, probably going to make it all the way to the end of stage 2 before you need to pit again, but at least 2 more stops likely needed in this race to get to the finish. Wilson has jumped to the pit, so yeah, he must have had some kind of issue. I don't know if it's some kind of pop-up on his window maybe, or something caused him to have to jump to the pits. So that's 2 cars all of a sudden here in the last 5 minutes that have had some hardware issues or something happen. Wilson has come back on track, so it must have been a small issue, whatever it was. Got that SMT number 72 of Evan Perry. Evan, of course, back here this week. Had a unfortunate deal happen personally last week, and glad to see him on track. Glad to see him doing okay after the issues and stuff. He's got Darrell Johnson there above him. Oh, I have some deja vu here. Ryan Wilson coming back on track in front of the pack. This time he stays down. I'm sure there was some communication there with each other. Of course, we laugh about it now, but the incident back at the first race where Wilson went to follow, I think it was Gilbert, onto the track. And after a pit stop, and unfortunately the pack was coming in. Well, it was iRacing's version of Kevin LePage, unfortunately. Sam Taylor leads out Likens as Taylor gets clear of that inside lane. They're going to come up on another lap car here in just a second. I think it's the 47 of Brian Hayes they're coming up on. Matter of fact, it is. Well, let's see how they handle the lap car here. Brian's going to bail out to the apron. Nice move, nice gesture on his part there. You see Al Likens could, don't get in the grass though, that could be bad. Likens takes the lead for all of 2 seconds before Scott Wise gets a good push. Help from McKinney there in the 24 car. As Derek Jacobs bails out here, he's coming to pit road. One of the cars that did not pit, I believe, under that last yellow. I'm not sure. I'll have to look at the records. Actually, he might have pitted, but he's coming to pit road in a 30 car. And we'll see what Derek does here. 4 tires and fuel, it looks like. So, Derek, this might be a routine pit stop for him. Nope, there's blinking out maybe. I thought he was calling it a night, but he has come back in, so. Curious to see what Al Likens and Sam Taylor do here, because those 2 cars have not been to pit road yet since the start of this race. Everybody else has made a pit stop, and those 2 up here at the front of the pack are going to need a pit here next minute or so, or next couple minutes, I should say. $30 laps here complete so far. So Likens to the lead, Taylor second, Ward third. Got the 31 of Scott Weiss up there in an outside lane, leading the pack there with Josh McKinney. Okay, look here, say 25's leading.
No.
Why?
Because I fucking.
Okay. Anyways, a 2-car having a good run right now. AJ Condon there in the inside lane there in the 5-car, trying to push the 3 of Wells to 72. Evan Perry there trying to push that outside lane. Really haven't seen that lane pull like away from one or the other here. It's been the inside line to a point, but the outside lane is able to maintain up there for the most part. As next time by, we'll come to 7 laps to go. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be really close, I think, for everybody here on fuel to get to the end of this stage. But either way, I think you'll see them back on pit road right at the end of it. Of course, traditionally, these cars go about 40 to 42 laps on a tank of fuel, but these guys do not run 100% fuel in this series. Oh, into the wall goes the 2. He's going to get turned into the wall. They go. Joe Wells involved. And others drift. Thompson gets damage. That all started with James Hudson in the outside wall, and he turned off of it into Joe Wells. And caution waves for the second time. And that's going to make things very interesting here. Let's watch the replay here. You're going to see Hudson just make that mistake and enter too high into turn 1 and catches the outside safer barrier. And he just turns right down actually into the 93. And oh, Joe Wells gets unfortunately turned head first in the outside wall. Rogers gets some damage. Saw Thompson and Drift in there. For those keeping track, that's 2 wrecks right around 5th position. Ranch gets some damage in that one, it looks like. Vivid EV car. And this is going to Vivid hurt. Never good when you get right reared. All right, so coming to 6 laps to go, and leaders are on pit road. What do you do here? 2 tires, 4 tires, no tires? Here we go, race off pit road. As Al Likens, a 15-1, leaves pit road first. So everybody 4 tires and fuel, it looks like. I think others going to get some damage fixed and get back out there. See if we can get a word with them. It looks like we will be able to get a word with him here. Let's talk to Mr. Taylor, who's had a good run here this evening. Sam, you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, Sam, having a great run this evening. Been up there in the top 3 pretty much all race long. Of course, you're running second right now. Started right there inside row 2, if I remember correctly, there in the 3rd position. But talk about your race and how you've been able to maintain that track position at number 9.
I mean, yeah, it's been tough. Track's real slick and bumpy. Haven't raced here in a while. But just me, the 25 and the 12, we've been working real good trying to manage the lines and make sure we didn't get too far out ahead and try to keep everybody together. And hate the 12 left us for a little bit, but he's back and hopefully we can get him on lead lap.
Obviously, going to be coming up to the end of stage 2 here. How hard is it to balance out in the league that actually a stage racing going for 10 points here and without trying to hurt your car, so you can try to have it going for lap 80 to win this race?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure, honestly. We're just me and 25 teammates. We're gonna hopefully there's one of us and nothing happens with us. So far, everything's happened behind us, and that's good.
All right, man. Well, hey, best of luck here coming to the green with, 3 laps to go in the stage, so good luck.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Sam Taylor, of course, the 9 car running P2 will be in the outside lane there for the restart as we get him back to his channel. I'm just going to take a peek real quick where he is. That's where he's going, so let's get him that channel. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. All right, so those who follow us, of course, next week it will be Talladega to finish out the Xfinity round and finish out the month of January. Sure has been an adjustment. I'm gonna go put that out there and be honest with you, as of course this is the 3rd broadcast of the season, which all 3 have been here with the Masters of the Draft, and I think back to 2024 at this point last year. I remember I'd ran the 24 Hours of Daytona with some friends of mine, did a podcast, and had already done I'd done already by 10 broadcasts by now, 10 or 11 or 12, something like that, if I remember correctly, if not more. Plus podcast, plus, I was like, I think back to that, I was like, what was I doing? All right, coming to the green flag here with Likens and Taylor. Those two have been working well together. Got some teammates there in row 2 with McKinney and Ward, as the 34 does not get a good restart back there. That's going to leave this outside lane kind of struggling here. You see already Ward goes down, and Taylor is hung out to dry. You wonder if Likens might go up there and try to get him. Might have to side draft the 39 here down the back straightaway. Right ahead, here comes McKinney, jumps to the top side. That'll help a lot. There goes the 31 up to the top here. His cars scatter around trying to find the lane with the momentum. Right now it's the outside lane. Josh McKinney. Oh, he almost tried to shut the door on Likens. Two laps to go. The vet to track number 24 out front. McKinney subbing for Travis Gilbert tonight, looking but vet to track back in victory lane again here tonight. Honda in inside lane there in that 5, then Drift right there behind him in the 4. Ooh, some squirreling getting around there. It's very tough with these cars coming off the corner. As here we go, final lap, stage 2. How aggressive do you want to be coming to the line? Likens with a pretty, a couple cars get together back in the back. They're going to spin around, and that's going to bring a caution out. Tim Shiflett is one of the cars, as Al Likens going to come to the line and win stage 2. And that is actually not accurate, because Greg Thompson is unfortunately in ninth. Always wondered what happened as it came to the caution flag there. But Al Likens wins stage number 2. It's the first time I've had that with that program. And as presented by Wise Guy iRacing Graphics, Likens looks like McKinnon. Make that Shane Ward going to be second. What I'm seeing here. Josh McKinney third, AJ Condon, Sam Taylor, I believe is how it's going to be lined up. All right, let's go back to the replay. I saw 2 cars get connected towards the back. First, let's see what the leaders do here real quick. If they all pit, we'll follow them real quick. If not, then we'll go from there. It looks like everybody's coming to pit. Rup, fake. And looks like a split field. So let's go ahead and show you the replay. It was right there to 54 and 34. Oh, and the 12 come together. We can get a better view of this here. Shiflets is falling back. Nice evasive move there. One more view of it here. There's Schiffer was in the outside lane there in the 8th position. You see Thompson forces it up the middle there. Clean move on his part. Branch goes to follow him and it hangs him out. And unfortunately, it just kind of funnels down right there. I think that was the 3 of Joe Wells who snuck through there. Let's see here. Let me go on board with Joe. The Xfinity V car. See that green little speck there to the right side. That's who you're going to see get turned here in a second, right about now. Into the wall they go, and look out! You got some cars going to come back to pit road here and top it off. I appreciate all the viewers coming to hang out here on this Tuesday evening. Hopefully you're staying warm wherever you are. Text earlier being told that there's some snow now in the panhandle of Florida. Believe it or not, that does happen. I remember my last year in Florida, that 2010 year I talked about earlier. Actually driving to a broadcast I had to do in Orlando, the station I worked for, and there was ice on the ground. In Orlando, Florida. It happens. Lauren Wise probably watching on the stream, probably freezing her, you know what, off. Going to come to the green as we Kick off the final stage here at 37 laps to go. Checkers or wreckers now. Who's going to bring it home here tonight? As the same two that have been up front almost all night long. Now Likens, Sam Taylor. They'll lead him to the green. Drift with a good restart there in the inside lane. And look at this. I've been waiting on this one. The Burger King Drift King duo up front. That is a whopper of a tandem up front. The 9 of Taylor behind him. Shane Ward there also. And here comes the 72 of Evan Perry up in that top lane. Perry's got a pusher and Scott Wise. Joe Wells in that outside line with Picklesimmer. They are still 2 laps down apiece. Back in the 16th and 17th position, so they need a caution, and they don't want to be it. Of course, Wells is in position right now. Matter of fact, he and Picklesimmer are battling for the lucky dog right now. So that's why they got to kind of... Oh, around goes Evan! Right in front of Wise in the field. Branch and Thompson with damage. A push gone wrong. And both lucky dogs all gone bye-bye. Caution waves again. Let's see what happens. Looked like a push gone wrong, but obviously anything can happen here. Wise is trying to help the 72 there. You see he gets turned. I'll get you a better view of this here in a second. Wide just gets him in the right rear. It's more a row in that second pack. That's where the Branch and Thompson come together. Most of the pack there kind of stayed off each other other than some light rubbing. But here we go. Field is on pit road, so this could be the money stops right here. See some cars probably on pit road here for a minute to get damage fixed. Some will probably use a reset here potentially as Likens wins the race off pit road. Scott Wise will be second. Tim Shiflett actually has stayed out and is going to take the lead of this race. Shane Ward, Ryan Wilson, and I believe it is the 47 of Brian Hayes that'll get the lucky dog because the 3 and 12 were involved in that incident. So as we've passed a halfway point in the race, let's pull up the schedule again for those curious to see how it looks out the rest of the season. Of course, after tonight, 9 races left, and we go to Talladega next week for the 16th race of the season overall and the 4th and final race of the Xfinity block here, if you will. And then we go back to Daytona again for the Gen 4 car for 100 laps. And then we go back to Monza. Oh, boy. That's all I'm going to say to that one. Monza on February 18th, and then 87 or the 07 Daytona track, and then Dega, and of course the Gen 6 car to finish it all out in March and then into April. And note the longest 2 races on the schedule, the last 2 races. A 250-miler at Atlanta and a 500-mile race at Talladega to finish it all out on the 8th of April. That's going to be a long night for me. I'll put that out there now. All right, so Tim Shiflett has stayed out. He's going to be the leader as we come to the green, that 54 car. Al Likens, first one off pit road in the outside lane there. Shane Ward, I should say, there in third in that 39 car. About called him Ryan Sieg. How about Ryan Wilson? Remember, blinked out a little bit ago, had some issues or something. He is back to fourth now in that outside lane. AJ Condon fifth, Greg Thompson sixth, Sam Taylor Farley's back. He's been all night, seventh. Josh McKinney, Tommy Rogers, Stephen Melnick, your top 10, 15 cars in the lead lap. Brian Hayes, Joe Wells, all are 2 laps down. Along with Dylan Picklesimmer, who actually has lost a 3rd lap, if I'm seeing this right. Or did I? Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Hayes and Wells took the wave around there. So they are now going to be 1 lap down. Picklesimmer 2 laps down. James Hudson and Derek Jacobs off the track. That's where we sit right now here with 33 laps to go. As the field racks them up here and gets ready to launch back to green. Track temp officially at 100 degrees, 82 ambient. As the field's still trying to get organized here real quickly as they come to the green. Shiflett going to lead them, and Taylor pulls down, check up a little bit there as the 08 gets in the back of somebody and sends him into the grass, as Condon, that is. As Likens going to clear to the lead, I think, here. Nope, they're still side by side. Branch moving down to the bottom. He's going to jump into his top 6 for the first time tonight. And across the line, that's close. I think Shiflett got him. Yeah, they will not play in this race. Some damaged cars back there. Thompson with that nose damage now after the contact as Shane Ward takes him 3 wide inside. Oh, Drift gets the outside wall. This is where it gets tricky. Compound 3 wide is not your friend at this old Daytona track. Oh no, and Wilson gets turned right in front of the field. More damage. More carnage. We see this again. The 23 and 54 just in an awkward position here. Shane Ward gets some damage from it. The 9 gets into the 93, I think it was. This just goes back to, I think we've discussed this a few weeks ago, how you can find a way to put your car in an awkward position. And this is where you kind of see it right here. Take a look at just, I mean, right here, kind of, you see it happening. You got the 3 cars in the inside lane here, kind of lined up. I mean, Ward's about a half a groove up with Likens there. 54 is trying to push to 23. But you wonder, is he trying to see if there's going to be a hole there, or is he trying to line up with the 23? But watch as they go into the tri-oval here, you're going to see what probably happens is Ryan gets the call that says, hey, you're 3 wide outside. Actually, we see Shiflett gets back there behind him. But then right here is kind of car gets out of shape with the bumps and stuff. All of a sudden, oh, I'm 3 wide all of a sudden, and before you even have time to react, you're together, neck coated a little bit there too, and Branch gets punted by the 93. It looks like the 9 he eats a 93 out of the way. Scott Wise, a good job missing that wreck. Some cars back on pit road. Once again, either getting damage fixed or using that reset here. 27 laps to go now, so we're getting down to the old nitty-gritty. I'm going to step away for just a quick second. All right, coming to the green. Look who's up front, Mr. Drift himself, and what's the flipsies again? As we get the Drift Burger King special here, the Whopper tandem. Going to start in the inside lane with Drift and Likens. Josh McKinney, that 24 car in the outside lane. Shane Ward there behind him, the 9. Sam Taylor got his car fixed up. How about Stephen Melnick here in the Kakamora on number 1? For those who don't know what that is, you got a little one who's watched Moana. Go ask he or she what Kakamora is. And you'll answer the question. They are the little coconuts that shoot at Moana and the Rock. Or, Maui, the Rock's character in the movie. But it's also the name of the HR company that Stephen Melnick runs, thanks to a family member who apparently is a fan of Moana. All right, 5 cautions, 15 laps. On what has been a pretty fun race. Great racing. So we've had a couple of yellows, which are expected on a track that's not raced on too much. All right, pace car pulls off. Here we go, back to green. Wonder how much more wilder can these guys make it, or will it calm down here for a few laps? And I say that as McKinney just literally throws his car into what looks like a hole that might not be there. That's right off the bat. Likens jumps to the top, and we've got the Battle of the Kings. See whose whopper's bigger than the others apparently here. I prefer cheese on mine, by the way. Outside wall. That's going to kill his momentum here. Car's kind of scattering back there a little bit. Griff's got to be feeling pretty weird seeing a sign that says "Have it your way" in the back of, or in the front of his windshield. They crossed the line here. 24 to go. Oh, Melnick, did he get loose there, or did he get tagged or something? What a save on it. That car's out of control. Riscardi. Tommy Rogers, 4th car inside lane. He's down on the apron here. I mean, that's one way to do it, I guess. Go to grass, now he's loose, and now he's really going to the grass. He's almost up back on the track. He's out of control here. Tommy Rogers doing his best Jeff Bodine 1981 Daytona 500 impersonation there. For those who've never watched that video, go look up Jeff Bodine 1981 Daytona 500 and we'll just try not to laugh. He says there was oil from an engine or something caused what happened to happen, but couldn't fool me in. Some contact there between McKinney and Likens. Gone for about 2 laps. Denton is picking up now. 22 to go. Basically, long story short, he ends up in the infield over by the tunnel in turn 4. And he literally went over the hill. Trying to make a bathroom run, but that's just my story. Ryan Wilson back up in the inside lane there, third car in line after the mess he's been through tonight. Scott Wise still there. Here's the 93 joining the battle, Daryl Johnson. Oh, that's Drift getting loose. Actually, Drift flew up. Boom goes the dynamite. We got a burnt whopper. Great, now that Burger King smell is going to go everywhere. Likens down to the lead. Drift just went from a Whopper to a Krabby Patty. Bah. Drift must have had a reset. He gets a pit road and car reignites, and there he goes. He's going to go a lap down, it looks like. He's just leaving pit road now. He's got to go all the way to turn one before he can join in. Here's the field through the tri-oval. And there's that tandem up top there, that 25 and 9. All right, Drift, stay on the apron here. Officially a lap down. He and Brian Hayes, two cars there, a lap down now. Joe Wells did get back on the lead lap with that last caution. He is in the running now to win this race again. However, over at the map right now, Joe Wells is a little ways back, 8 seconds on his own back here. He's got the 47 running with him. Of course, he'll have Drift here in a second. Cars all bobbing and weaving everywhere here. "17 laps to go in the Bet the Track Masters of the Draft Series." Big shot to Bet the Track that helps out with veterans right on board the 24 car. If they want to get out there on the racetrack, it helps them get out there and through a motorcycle ride, get them on the racetrack, get them going, get them motivated and stuff. So big shout to what those guys do to help out. Also big shout out to Key City Hobby, the sponsor of the Xfinity. Oh, hold on, Melnick. That car is like all types of out of shape in these corners. Key City Hobby, of course, the sponsor of the Xfinity block here of this schedule. Appreciate all the viewers hanging out here. I see Dot, I'm sorry, Star Bliss, who's watching. Ace Fan 1973 checking in. Hello, sir. Appreciate your service. I don't know if the star part is like a blur, a censored word. That's just part of the name or what that is, but interesting. see this race really starting to amp up a little bit here. And I think what's really going to make this tough is when these guys get double file like this, it seems like it is very hard to get one car or the other clear so that you can make a run for the lead here. You're almost kind of stuck behind another car unless you make another aggressive move. You wonder as we get down to the end, you look at like the 39 award, the 9 of Taylor, the 93 of Johnson, the 23 of Brian Wilson. It's like, how do you make a move? Oh, I see. Do I really want to know what the name was? Is it family approved? There's some cars out there that are just absolutely all over the place. Greg Thompson, the 08 car, still fighting along there in that inside lane, pole position. Greg trying to carry some momentum after his last race at Atlanta Motor Speedway, getting a top 5 finish. Won the pole here tonight. Of course, presented at Vivid EV. Going to the front now. As Likens you see up there on the top side. If you're in the pack, you can win this race. Drift is actually caught back up. I thought he had lost that draft, but he actually stayed aboard, which is interesting. As they come up on Tommy Rogers to put him a lap down, this is going to be very tough. Because now you're on a bumpy track, 3 wide. Rogers needs to keep that thing off the wall if he can through the tri-oval here. Good job on everybody's part right there. That could have been very tough. Likens leading that outside lane. He's got Taylor. One of them two usually been pushing the other most of the night. And they have done a great job keeping themselves up in the top 4 for the majority of the race. Ten laps to go. I see. Interesting. Good story. I appreciate you coming to hang out here tonight, bud. Appreciate everybody coming to hang out as we wrap up our last 10 races now officially. 9 to go after tonight. And 9 laps to go. I mean, this is where it gets tough. I mean, Race Fan said it best here a minute ago. You failed 100% of things you don't try. You look at these cars like Greg Thompson back there, Jason Branch, Evan Perry, who's the fifth car in the outside lane. You got to try to take a chance here without trying to cause a wreck. It gets very tough, and you're kind of put yourself in a box if you're not up there towards the front right now. I mean, a smoother Daytona track, a little bit easier to go 3 wide up the middle or outside lane than it is on this bumpy track, because you don't know how your car is going to react, and all of a sudden you could be in the wall or into the car next to you if you don't hit the bump right or whatever. You see almost some contact towards the back there. Look how these cars move around. It's just so tricky. He's actually subbing for Travis Gilbert. It'd be ironic that Bet the Track car goes to victory and the car's clipping the apron and almost losing the back end. Al Likens has been up front plenty of times. Usually could have won 2 or 3 races this season. Unfortunate circumstances have happened as they come up on Joe Wells to put him a lap down, along with the 47 Brian Hayes. So once again, a rough run for Wells after his win last week in Atlanta. I mean, this is the kind of night these guys needed for those who are looking to make up some points. Look at Shane Ward, who was 200 points back in the overall championship. Tonight could be a good night to catch up to Joe Wells, who comes to pit road right now. So this is, unfortunately, Gilbert's not here. Wells is on pit road and going to have a tough finish. Go get a win here tonight, max out the points, and could be getting closer to being in the battle here. It's being 9 to go after tonight, as mentioned. Like that was actually a scheduled pit stop for Joe Wells. Fuel only and leaves pit road. And he's likely going to lose 2 more positions here before the end of this race if Pickle, Simmer, and Hayes can get back to him. All 13 on the lead lap. There's actually more than 13 in the pack, but 13 of them are on the lead lap. Let me make sure I clarify that sentence. Clarify. You see Shiflett back there. There's Pickle Simmer in the 12 right there pushing Jason Branch. I think you got to make your moves now, especially if you're back there where Branch is, or Scott Wise back there in that Bass Pro Shops 31 car. 4 to go. I've always been one that watches that area right there of the track, and it's kind of underrated. And I'm not scared to bring it up now on a broadcast because I'm not behind the wheel anymore. I've always been one that have watched the car and their tendencies when they come off these corners, because if they pull off this corner and you see the outside lane slide wide, I am filling that gap right in the middle, right there, like Branch just did. Looking on Wise, not able to get the run though. If you're going to leave me that middle lane, I am going to pounce. 3 laps to go. Now, if you come off the corner, tight off the corner, then obviously you got nowhere to go, and you might have to think about the high lane. Bliss, I asked myself that same question about myself, actually. There's Branch going to the top side, right on cue. And this time, no, he got himself shuffled. Coming to 2 to go. One more with Daryl Johnson here. Let's see if he does exactly what I'm thinking here. Let's watch what the 9 car does. He didn't have the run to do it. Ooh, a little sideways there. Oh, easy, boys. Oh, some contact. One car sideways, sliding around. So far, they're still straight. They're still hitting each other. And everybody's good. As we come back, white flag. McKinney clear to the lead. Shane Ward, a teammate, pushing him behind him. Is Taylor trying to make a move here? The drag race coming to the start-finish line. Side by side, Josh McKinney gets the win. McKinney, who's only made a few starts this season, and tonight actually subbing in for Travis Gilbert, gets the win. And for McKinney, a big win, as he was 9th in points entering tonight, scores his first win of the season and in this Xfinity car. And for he and Josh Likens, Al Likens, these guys are likely going to have a big kick up in the points as McKinney is tearing up some grass. We'll go to Vet to Track Victory Lane and talk to the Vet to Track car this evening. As McKinney parks it at the end of the front straightaway here, he's still going to burn it down. All right, let's take a look at the finishing results. As McKinney gets a win, as mentioned, his first win of the season. Al Likens 6/100ths of a second, finishes second. Ward, only 2 1,000ths back from second, finishes third. Sam Taylor finishes fourth. Ryan Wilson comes back to the top 5. Daryl Johnson, Scott Wise, Greg Thompson, Evan Perry with a 9th place finish, and Jason Branch finishing 10th. AJ Condon 11th, Tim Shiflett 12th, Stephen Melnick 13th. Drift going to be the first car a lap down and made the best of a bad situation there, grenading the motor in 14th. Tommy Rogers 15th. Dylan Picklesimmer finishing in the 16th position. Brian Hayes, Joe Wells, James Hudson, and Derek Jacobs, your 20 racers here tonight. The race that only saw 5 cautions for 15 laps, so a lot of good racing there throughout, including the last 27 there. Caution free to the finish. We'll talk to our top 3 finishers here. Start with Shane Ward. As we get him up here to the channel, obviously Shane, a great run here this evening. Congratulations. Obviously, I know you had your ups and downs here throughout this evening, but come back and get a top 3 finish and be able to help a teammate here go to victory lane in a substitute role. Obviously, got to be a pretty good moment tonight.
Oh, it's a great moment for our team. Just the way we all stuck together and just helped each other was awesome tonight.
Talk about the moment that, I mean, it's not really a moment tonight, but altogether wise, you were one that's kind of sitting there as you entered the points tonight. Overall, was like on your own little island. You had Travis and Joe, those guys were up there. You're third, and then everybody else below you. And then obviously Travis not here. Joe had a rough night and a good night to make up some points.
Yeah, there's actually no catch in the top 2. Those guys are just in a league of their own. I'm just trying to stay with them, stay at least in their dust, you know, because they're so far ahead. I'm just having a blast running with them. They've been such a help. They're the reasons why I'm actually third, because without their guidance and without their teamwork and everything like that, without their encouragement, there's no way I'd be where I am.
That's awesome.
No way.
Well, great job tonight, man, finishing in the 3rd position. Send some shout-outs over like too.
Shout-outs, just want to thank you for the broadcast. I want to thank my sponsors, Crest Fire Extinguishers, NOS Energy. Definitely want to thank my teammates for G Lightning Motorsports and G Lightning Motors. Congratulations to Josh on the win. We missed Travis, unfortunately, but hopefully he'll be back next week. But yeah, thanks to AJ, Joe, Travis, Brady, Josh, especially for filling in. Thanks to everybody watching. Thanks to everybody that's helped me along the way. And yeah, thanks to everybody.
Absolutely, man. Great job here tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Shane Ward finishing in the 3rd position here this evening, and a great finish there for the 39 car. And Al Likens finishing 2nd here tonight, which I believe is his best finish all season. Al, I know I feel like you've been on the cusp of winning a race here sooner or later, and I thought tonight might be the night, but unfortunately, that outside lane just kind of faltered a little bit there towards the end, and you were able to hold on to finish 2nd.
Yeah, I had a really good race. I thought at the end we was going to prevail with all the teammates lined up, but there at the end the line just came apart, and it just didn't work out, but I'm happy with 2nd place.
You and Sam had a pretty good team going all night. I know Sam got involved in an incident there. You got shuffled back on the early start of the race, but it just seemed like you two were like magnets, able to find your way back to each other.
Oh yeah, we was definitely going to work together now, and I think we've done a great job. Probably overall the best race we've had for his teammates.
Obviously, I have to bring this up, but did it seem any kind of weird tonight running a Burger King scheme and having Drift there behind you or in front of you?
Yeah, I had to look twice. I was like, what? Yeah, we was definitely matching on the track.
I was going to say the Whopper tandem as I was calling you. But no, great job here tonight, man. Great race. I know you were entering, 9th in points, I think, tonight, or 8th or something like that. So obviously going to be a good points night and keeping yourself in contention going to that final race at Talladega next week. So send some shout-outs whoever you like to.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my TNT Motorsports teammates and all they do. And Daryl Johnson and all that makes this possible. Thank you all for the good job you do in the league. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Great job tonight to Al Likens, who finishes in the 3rd position, or 2nd position tonight. So, Al, congratulations, bud.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. As Al finishes 2nd behind the guy we're going to talk to who goes to Vet to Track Victory Lane in the Vet to Track car, filling in for the Vet to Track guy. Josh McKinney goes to Victory Lane here tonight. Congratulations, Josh. Obviously a great race for you, and kind of ran at the front, ran at the back a little bit, just kind of hung out, trying to put yourself in the best position possible, and you found yourself up front towards the end of that race, and what a way to fill in for Travis and get yourself a victory here tonight.
Well, good evening, Chris. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Obviously, talk about the race itself there and coming to the finish line, because you and Al were side by side for the last 10, 15 laps or something, and it was one thing I had pointed out early in the race. It seemed like it was hard to, if you were able to separate yourself, you were okay, but it seemed like you had to be in that front 1 or 2 rows to be in position to win.
Yeah, I don't think any of us wanted to push it 3 wide there tonight. You could see every lap there. If you rode on board at all, how bumpy and rough the track was. Not very fun to race. 2 wide is about all we wanted to do there, but it was fun. I had a blast, and how about that white 24?
Yeah, it looked pretty spiffy out there, and obviously to get another win for the G Lightning team and to put yourself into victory lane, it's got to feel. I mean, I know it's in a sub role, but you know what? You started the race, you finished it, you won this thing. That's got to feel pretty good.
Yes, sir. I've been racing with all of you guys for the last few weeks here. Known Al for quite a long time. I've known Joe for a few years now, and managed to hook up with them and run in this series. And Scott and Lauren, they do a wonderful job. This league is awesome.
Well, obviously a great job tonight to go to victory lane on this tricky track. Now, I know you actually entered this race tonight. You were 10th in points, or 9th in points. I'm sorry. Al was right there in front of you, 8th in points. And you guys should be relatively up towards, I mean, I got to see the official points when they come out. I think somewhere 40, 50 points. And with some stage points helping things, I mean, maybe out of the running for a championship, but still in the running to get a good top 10 finish in the point standings for this little block.
Yeah, I'm not really too focused on points right now. I just enjoy running with the guys, honestly. Every Tuesday night is a real fun time, and I look forward to it.
That's the way to do it, man. Appreciate your time, and send some shouts whoever you like to.
Yeah, I mean, first off, Joe Wells there created this beautiful white 24 car for me. Got Vet to Track, Mr. Travis Gilbert's sponsor and team there helping me out on the car there. It's pretty awesome for the support that they do, because I am an active duty Navy veteran myself. I see some people in the stream there that on YouTube there that are active or retired Navy and all that. So shout out to them for serving and all of that. Shout out to my beautiful wife Callie and my 2 beautiful daughters, and thank you to the Navy for allowing me to do this. I know we got some pretty bad weather coming here in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina right now, but thank you to everyone, and really honestly, Chris, thank you so much for broadcasting it. You do a wonderful job.
I appreciate that, man. Well, great job, Josh. Welcome to Victory Lane. Good to talk to you as always, and go celebrate the win.
Thank you, and a big shout out to Shane there. He was a real MVP tonight.
There you go. Going up to Kevin Durant line. Nice. Well done. As Josh McKinney wins here tonight for the first time here this season, and as he said, just down there having a good old time. Nothing wrong with that. Big shout out to Vet to Track for sponsoring the Victory Lane interview with Josh McKinney. Let's take a look at the Hard Charger Award presented by Superior Templating. Of course, that goes to the person with the highest amount of positions gained for those who qualified in the race. And everybody had to qualify pretty much at one point. And when you start last, there's a decent shot you're going to be the one that get yourself in the running. But you know what? I have to check on this, because Daryl actually, I believe, started the race on pit road back with the 51 car. So he might not be eligible for this. So if that's the case, it would then go to Josh McKinney, but he won the race, so I believe it actually goes to Shane Ward, then who would be it. But we'll let them determine that. So we're going to call Shane Ward the Superior Templating Hard Charger tonight, gaining 11 spots in the race here this evening. I'll let Lauren clarify that whole thing. But yeah, big shout out to mainly Superior Templating for sponsoring the Hard Charger Award here this evening. What a race it was. As mentioned, 5 cautions, 15 laps. And McKinney winning that race, and it definitely showed track position on this older Daytona track continues to be the way to go. You got to keep your car up front, and how tough it is to make a 3-wide move. A couple people tried, and you just could not do it. You had to try to get yourself in position to win the race. And that's what McKinney and Al Likens, Sam Taylor, those guys did. Shane Ward did a great job, and a great race it turned into tonight here for the guys in the Masters of the Draft Series presented by Vet the Track. Big shout also to Vivid EV and Wise Guy iRacing Graphics for sponsoring the stage winners and also the pole award here this evening. And we're going to take off and head to Talladega next week. And should be still Jason Branch leading the points, I would think, when it's all said and done here this evening. Melnick might lose second to Ward, just going over his numbers here off the top of my head. But other than that, it's probably pretty tight the rest of the way, so should be good to go. So, all right, let's go to Talladega next week. Appreciate everybody for watching. We'll see you next Tuesday night. We will do some AI racing. Didn't get to do any here the last couple days. Honestly, my wife actually had a commitment that she was doing with jewelry and stuff, and I let her have her time on the computer to do her thing. So, and she did a great job. So big shout out to her, and we're going to get some AI racing done here this week and have some fun with that before we come back next Tuesday from Talladega. Stay warm. It's cold out there. Good grief. Stay warm, stay safe, and always remember this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See you.
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain eSports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation.
From the Captain eSports Network.